Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a video. This game is called Sweet Science: The Ghost of Silver Sea Castle. Now, I read a lot. It was free on Steam, and it's a visual novel. I read all the reviews that there were on Steam since there were only 10. This game came out like the 29th of March this year. But I've read a lot about it, and hold on, let me just close Geometry Dash that's open. Yes, I'm sure I want to quit. Okay, there we go. Nice. Yes, and it just gave me a disclaimer at the beginning saying this game is suitable for those that are easily disturbed, and I'm like, is it supposed to be is, or is it supposed to be isn't? But I don't know, since I'm pretty sure this is a German-made game, since there's like the only options were English or German, so. Yeah, so do we look at all this stuff, or do we just start the story? Wait, what if I click on main characters? Sylvia, Baroness Sylvia von Tensberg, that's what she prefers to be called, the long name. She despises her father, to whom the title of nobility means nothing, and who, how ungraceful is just a teacher. Actually, she despises quite a lot of things. Will this perhaps change? And why is she here in the first place? Birthday, May 31st, blood type B, special interest, art. Mari grew up on an idyllic farm in the Alps. Her teachers noticed her talent when she was still in elementary school. They let her skip 2 classes at once. They helped against boredom, but life as a young genius also has its downsides. Maybe that's why Mari is so shy. Birthday, March 14th, blood type O, special interest, mathematics. Patty, the high-energy girl, is compassionate about physics, even if she lets many a piece of equipment go up in smoke and fire along the way. I'm not going to hire you for being my physicist. She's going to become a famous physicist, what else? If only it wasn't for those languages at school. She is much too impatient to learn vocabulary. Birthday, June 23rd, blood type A, special interest, physics. Ayuki, I think that says. The dreamy girl with the foreign name. What's the secret behind it? Why does she wear cat ears and talk about science fiction stories all the time? Birthday, February 13th, blood type AB, special interest, astronomy. Mr. Young, the physics teacher. Okay, what the heck is wrong with him? Okay, so I can tell you right now, I am not going to be doing voices for every single one of these characters. Because that'd be too hard. I can't do female voices to begin with. but yeah, well, I might adjust my voice a little bit, maybe, but probably won't happen. But anyway, without further ado, I suppose we should just start it up.
The time never will. Stopping, returning. The past will stand still. What if we're learning? It won't.
Bro, this teacher. That teacher guy. Here to increase entropy, I do not know what that means. Do I have to click something, or is it going to automatically? Oh, okay. Quickly explain the game to you. Every time the text stops, you can continue reading by clicking on the mouse or by pressing the spacebar. Oh, okay. Great. Anytime during the game, you can click on the icons in the bottom right to save the game. Alright, let's go back in the story and then make different choices. These let you save the game either quickly or in a menu. Okay, and then quick save is quick save. Oh, I see. And then if we go save. Oh, okay, yeah, nice. Alright, nice. The other menu items are not so relevant for now. Let's rewind with the backspace key. In the story, you often have several options, just click on one of them. Fantastic. Sometimes a small picture of me appears in the left-hand bottom corner. Clicking on me will then show some background information. pertinent info on the game with the AI with which it was developed can be found here on our website. Shall I give you a few tips on the game, or would you rather experience the story without cheating? Give me tip! Visual selections with negative effects will be marked in bright red after you point at them. So that looks like this. If you want to change this later, just do so in the settings. Inside a tip with H, you can hide the text bar at the bottom to see the whole picture. You can select your name, and then you can start right away if fun. I call myself what I'm always called. Prologue. Okay, little scared, can't lie. I was supposed to click there. Do you know what year it is? 1982. A boy, just a random boy shouted that. Yes, very good. In 18 years' time, we're the year 2000. This takes place quite a while in the past. A very long time away. So how do you imagine the year 2000? There'll be robots and spaceships. That's not correct. How we can all fly and nobody gets sick. And nobody has to brush their teeth anymore. Well, I'm not so sure about that, but today you may draw a picture of yourself in the year 2000. Then you'll be grown up, you can paint what you will do then, or how you will imagine the world then. Yeah, the year 2000 seemed indefinitely far away from me as a boy. I thought about what I should paint, what I want to become in the future. A researcher. I eagerly started working. Finally, I proudly showed my picture to the teacher. Very nice, well done. I was happy and promised myself to show the picture to my mum and dad right after school. A few boys grinned when they saw my picture though. What's that? A researcher? Researcher's a crazy old man, not cool at all. I was shocked. Was that really so? I mean, all of them were highlighted in red, so like, bruh. When I got home, I hid my picture deep in a drawer of my desk. I never showed it to my parents. Can such a little experience change your life? Maybe yes, maybe no. But time passed. Good and bad things happened, and finally the year 2000 approached. Oh, wow. I'm like 20 or so. The year 2000. A new millennium. A new age full of hopes and possibilities. We were all so optimistic. The internet would connect the world, solve conflicts, overcome dictatorships. The future was awesome and bright. That's what we thought. Reality was different. 2 years later, the optimism had evaporated and somehow my life was stuck. I was lucky to have found a job at all, even though I hadn't finished my law degree, especially with over 4 million people unemployed in the country. But life as a temp at a law firm, specializing in dubious legal practices, was hard and poorly paid. On good days I was allowed to make coffee, otherwise all that remained for me were the dullest tasks. Little remained of my ideals, if I ever had any. I spent my weekends in front of a PlayStation 2, and I was lonely. I had already been lonely in college. For the posh law students, I was a loser. Didn't get good grades, I was half-orphaned, and my father was just a simple craftsman. They laughed at me behind my back. When I was finally allowed to take my summer holiday, I got myself together. I drove my old VW Polo to the big lake on the border with Switzerland to go camping. It started to rain, at least the weather suited my gloomy mood. Through the rain I could make out a castle I remembered from a long time ago, Silversea Castle. Deciding on the spur of the moment, I left the highway and took the small road to the castle's front gate. Just a short walk, I thought, and got out of the car. I remembered that inside the castle was a posh boarding school, kids of CEOs and presidents. Those were the typical students here. The gate was not locked. I thought about entering the park, but should I? They're all red. They're all red options. I don't know what if I go to options. Let's see. Choices with negative outcomes. Yes. Still on, which means both of these give me a negative outcome, so I'll just enter the park. Why not? The gate was not locked, and whom should I disturb during the school holidays anyway? So it looked like it had back then, when I ran away from here. I was a high school student, just before graduation, at a regular high school of course. That summer I wanted to hitchhike to the south of France with some friends. One of us got sick and the others didn't feel like it anymore. So my father signed me up for a science camp. A teacher recommended me for it. Very uncool. Those kind of places were only for stupid nerds, freaks. What was I supposed to do there? My father drove me there in his rusty VW Beetle and dropped me off. The camp was to take place here in this posh boarding school. While the upper class kids were with their parents in Dubai, Tokyo, or the Bahamas, the nerds were moving in here for a week. But I didn't participate, I just ran away. Ran away before even one of the teachers could see me. That night I slept in an empty cabin in the woods. The next morning I hitchhiked home. My father was furious, but he gave in and accepted my decision. He just made me call the camp director myself to apologize. However, I faked the call. In reality, I didn't dial the number at all and just walked to the phone. Anyway, the people from science camp didn't seem to miss me very much. They never asked about the missing student. Now my father was dead, 7 years already. Maybe he was with Mum now, and happy. I was all alone. But what use was thinking about the past? I tried to get back to my car, and suddenly... What the heck? What on earth? What on earth just happened? And why was it suddenly sunny? If I had been unconscious or something, I still felt dizzy. Quickly walked back to the castle gate and went into my car, but my car was no longer there. Sure, I parked it right there. Someone must have stolen it. I put out my cell phone to call the police. No signal. Sure, whenever you really need it, it's gone. I had no other choice. I had to go to the castle and ask someone for help. Because I had my cell phone and wallet with me. Now in the sunshine, the castle looked even more like in my memory. Then I noticed a poster on an outbuilding. Was there another science camp at the boarding school? I took a close look and was startled. 1992? The poster couldn't possibly be 10 years old. What was that about? At that moment a girl passed by. Huh? What was she doing here in the middle of the vacation? Anyway, that wasn't important now. I took the chance and spoke to her. Hello, excuse me, could you help me please? What do you want? Who are you anyway? I am me. I am Enda, and you? Baroness Sylvia. What? Baroness Sylvia of Tinsburg. Okay. I never met a noblewoman before, at least not one who so attached importance to her title. Did a family of aristocrats still live in this castle? Thought it was just a boarding school now. Maybe she was a blue-blooded student, right in the middle of the summer break. Anyway, there were more important things now. And again, both of them don't really give me positive outcomes. Today's date. This conversation is such a waste of time. Yes, I can. Today is Saturday, July 25th. That was on my cell phone. It can't be. Today is July 25th, but it's Thursday. If you've already calculated those better, don't bother with such questions. Next, I want to know the year. Actually, I would very much like to know that. I'm in front of myself, I don't need you for that, thank you. I was hoping you weren't one of those idiots here. With these words, the girl left me standing. I looked after her, dumbfounded. Oh, don't worry about that, she's like that with everyone. I turned around. Another student? At least she looked friendly. Oh, there's animation. But what were those funny ear things on her head? It was neither carnival nor Halloween. That's a key, and you? Ender? Are you in astronomy class too? Or... Oh, you look a bit older, so are you one of the teachers actually? Although, no, sorry, you're for sure not that old. I wasn't tall, and I was kind of used to people underestimating my age. At least she had some doubts about me being a high school student. Otherwise my honor as a grown man would have been really offended. I was about to tell her I was indeed not a student, but then she suddenly pointed to the poster. They even printed posters for our science camp. But the year? What about that? I froze. What was going on here? Suddenly everything seemed clear to me. Okay, where's the camera? What camera? There must be a camera in somewhere. It's one of those stupid TV pranks. Admit it. Wait, why did I do my voice for her? No, there must be a camera hidden somewhere. It's one of those stupid TV pranks. I admit it. I laughed. Why didn't I think of it immediately? Making people believe they're in the wrong year? Typical TV gag. Azuki looked at me strangely and said nothing. Then she laughed. You're funny. Where would there be a hidden camera here? I mean, of course there could be nano cameras floating around, but why would anyone use them here? You mean the year is correct? Yeah, why wouldn't it be? You sound like someone out of Back to the Future. The time travel only exists in Hollywood movies. Although some aliens believe in such nonsense, but it has been known for a long time, time travel is not possible. The speed of time can be changed, but to travel back in time is impossible. Or do you come to the past? That would be possible, of course, and also super interesting. I always wanted to meet someone from earlier centuries, but you don't look like that either. What the hell was she talking about? But now I'm curious, are you also in astronomy class? No, I'm not in any class. Oh, then what are you doing here? That was a good question. If this was really 1992, what could I do? Hello. Hello. I am. Another new guy. I'm Patricia, but you can call me Patty. And this is Marie. What's your name? The girl with red hair snapped me out of my thoughts. Hello. I am this. Hello. I am so. No, I do not know how to speak lines like this. Hello, and I am so excited. So many cool new people. So, has Satsuki already entertained you with her science fiction stories? Satsuki, you really have to tell me more of them. People always think you're serious. It's so funny. Patty couldn't stand still for a moment while she was talking. Are you in physics class too? Tell me you are also in physics class. To ward off her question, I turned to the... Oh, I got a thingy. To ward off her question, I turned to the girl she had introduced as Marie. She seemed to be a bit younger than the others. And you are Marie. Which course are you in? What is this fact? ... Marie's a little shy, but she's in math class. Graph theory. I'm sure it's really exciting, but physics is cooler, of course. Although the inhabitants of 55 Cancri believe that graph theory is the key to divine power. Satsuki, you are really great. You always say such funny things as if they were absolutely real. Mary still couldn't get a word out. You know, that's how I always imagine nerds, either nuts or too shy to even say hello. Patty's happy babbling was suddenly interrupted by a confident male voice. Ah, you must be in the late registration. Glad it worked out. But still don't have any information from you about which course you're taking. Chemistry is full, but math, physics, and astronomy still have a place for you. And you still have to tell me if you want to participate in the excursion to the Science Museum in Zurich. Then you would have to pay 10 German marks. So we are in German. 10 German marks. Part of the ground was being pulled out from under my feet. Up until that moment, I had still had a feeling of security. My cell phone, ID, driver's license, enough cash, they worked well as a modern survival package, even in the middle of the night when you get totally lost while driving. Or when you miss the last train to some godforsaken town. But here, everything was completely different. And money was worthless. Euros that didn't even exist yet. My ID card, my driver's license with issue dates in the future, also invalid. And my cell phone? Cell phones didn't exist yet. Anyway, whom could I call? Hi Dad, I'm your son, not the one who just ran away, but the other one from the future. A future in which you have already died. Wish I didn't know I couldn't possibly talk to him. I had no choice. I had to stay here for now and somehow find my way back to my time. What am I going with that? Okay. Put myself together. No, I'm not going on the field trip. Alright, and what course will you take? Oh, come join me in physics class, please. I love looking at the stars in the... Of course. Decisions matter. Eek, the girl that wanted me to come to their class. Well, she never said anything. Well, I decided spontaneously, just trusting my feelings. Why are they all, well, they all like highlight blue when I go over them, so... Which means none of them have, like, bad. Fine, I'll join physics and see if it's entertaining. Wow, that was a really drastic change in, in model. It's gonna be super cool. And super exhausting with such an energetic classmate. And so I became a student again in the nerdy science camp at Silversea Castle, where I never wanted to go. But that was just the beginning of my adventure. Good, then that's cleared up. Here's a note with information about the camp. The boys sleep in the east wing, go through the main entrance, turn right. Don't lock the rooms here, your room is on the 3rd floor. Room 305. There's no elevator in the castle, of course, but you look fit. Well, at least I didn't have any luggage. The room is usually occupied by a boarding student, so make sure everything stays in place, otherwise we'll get into trouble. But so far it has always worked out. You high flyers just seem to be a bit more sensible than the normies in my school. My stomach growled. Oh wait, My stomach growled audibly. Oh dear, I hadn't eaten for a while. The last time was... oh, in 10 years. Man, that was really confusing. Sounds like you're hungry already. Don't worry, dinner's early here. You better come down to the cafeteria as soon as you're done unpacking. See you soon. So I said goodbye to the girls and went in search of my room. Not bad. A room to myself at least, but honestly not as luxurious as I had imagined. Can't get everything. Puns and roses. I'm sorry. The guy who lived here had a lot of books. And a few posters, heavy metal and stuff like that, back in the 90s. Puns and roses. Hold on. Guns and Roses. Did they start? 1985. Okay, yeah, actually. That is pretty accurate, yes. Okay, good. I carefully took them down. I didn't want to look into a skull when I woke up. I remembered I used to be a fan of that too back in the day. Then I spotted a blue suitcase with a note stuck to it, with my name on it. For Enda. Sorry about the accident, but I noticed it too late to fix it right away. Unfortunately, anyway, here are some useful things for you. I wish you a nice week at Silversea Castle, a friend. The hell does that mean? I opened the suitcase. Inside, clothes, underpants, socks, t-shirts, pajamas, jackets, toothbrush, toothpaste. Everything we needed on a trip. It was all brand new. The choice of clothes was a bit daring in some cases, and why was the toothpaste for children? It said Junior on the package. But all in all, it was definitely better than nothing. Then there was a thick envelope. I opened it and pulled out a bundle of money, all in bills of 100 German marks. That was a lot of money. But that solved some of my problems for the time being. Thank you, dear friend. Sat down on the bed and looked at the info sheet. So there were 4 courses, each taught by one teacher. We've got information about science camps, Schloss Silversea 1992, courses and course leaders, mathematics, graph theory, Dr. Kind, physics, Mr. Young, chemistry, Mr. Meitner, astronomy, astrophotography, Baron Tensberg. Also science camp director. Potato schedule, 8 AM to 9 AM breakfast, 9 AM to 1 PM classes, 1 PM to 2 PM lunch, 2 PM to 4 PM classes, 4 PM to 6:30 PM free time, 6:30 to 7:30 PM dinner, 7:30 PM optional evening activities. Math for Dr. Kind, Q name. Physics by Mr. Young, maybe an Englishman. Chemistry by Mr. Meitner, how appropriate, but at least was probably not his first name. Lise Meitner, pronounced Meitner, yeah, I thought so. Was a famous physicist and chemist who was instrumental in the discovery of nuclear fission. I see. What's this? Astronomy by the head of the academy, Baron von Tensberg. Wait a minute, I stumbled. Lived in the family name of that arrogant cow editor. What the fuck? Why am I so mean? And that guy in jeans and t-shirt just now was probably her father. Those two did not go together at all. But that also explained why she was here in the castle, even though she wasn't taking any classes. Breakfast at 8 o'clock every day, then classes from 9 AM to 1 PM, lunch, classes again from 2 PM to 4 PM, then free time, and on some days an evening event, and continued reading. So Monday was excursion or free day, so a free day for me, I guess. The rest was not so important to me now, but it was a full program. Now one more important task, find the way back to my time. By Friday at the latest. For now I went to eat. When I arrived, the cafeteria was already pretty full. Which was dish, there were actually several to choose from, not bad. Took a quick look around. Then Patty waved at me so violently she almost knocked over her drink. The quiet Marie and Azuki, who was daydreaming and didn't seem to see me, were already sitting at the table. I was about to join them when I noticed a lone girl in a yellow dress at the next table, Sylvia. I ignored the wannabe baroness. There we go, that's what it's supposed to look like when it's a bad thing. As I approached, she stood up. Hello, Sylvia. Would you like to join our table? What am I supposed to do with you nerves? Come on, eating alone is boring. I'd rather sit with someone who isn't boring. With myself, for example. I shrugged my shoulders and went to the others. Hello, everybody. Oh, and what kind of food do you have? Pizza too. Great choices here, right? Hello. I was so surprised that Mary had said something. I couldn't think of an answer. When do you see how Mary can talk? She just doesn't talk as much nonsense as I do. At that moment, we were interrupted. Sylvia played down noisily at a vacant place on our table. Let's see. It's a cold breeze at the other table. I have to sit here. Okay. I winked at the others. That doesn't mean I wouldn't rather eat alone. Of course it doesn't. And so began our first dinner together in peaceful harmony, or something like that. Turned to Patty and Murray. Tell me, have you known each other for a long time? Yes, of course, from the Physics Olympiad. And the Math Olympiad and the University seminars for pupils and the preparatory courses for the National Mathematics Competition. Okay, I didn't really understand anything she just said, but we'll go with it. Oh, right, it's great how one can always make friends at events like that. There are no dullards like that. There are no dullards like at school. Instead, there are totally exciting, fun people like Aski or you. Him. And I'm sure you're okay too, Sylvia. Sylvia pretended she didn't hear the stress on the word okay. At some point, even Sylvia couldn't help herself and joined in the conversation, so I wanted to get a question on my chest. It's a bad answer, so I don't want to do the bad answer. Because my annoying father decided to spend his vacation here and I had to come along. Yes, it is. After all, there's nothing for me to do here other than paint. You paint? Yes, I'm going to be an artist later. Wow, there are two bad answers here. I'll think about it. Okay. Continue talking about this and that. At some point, Marie looked at her watch and interrupted us. We have to go to class. Indeed, the cafeteria had already emptied quite a bit. We quickly put our dishes back and went into the classrooms. Isn't this dinner? Patty and I sat down in the classroom where the physics class was to be held. She didn't know the teacher yet either, so we were both curious. Hello everybody, I am Mr. Young. What the heck? What was he meant to be, a crossover between a punk and a demon summoner? Patty's mouth hung open as well. I'll introduce you to some secrets of physics, relativity theory, quantum field theory, quantum loop theory, and so on. There will be a few lectures from me. Maybe it's too much for most of you, but that doesn't matter. You can learn what it's like not to understand everything. Very important experience for your studies. Or you will also do projects in groups of 2 on topics that I have already prepared. You can work on them whenever you want. The lab is open day and night, and you can use everything you find here. So, we'll be having an exciting week together. Do you have any questions in advance? Looked around. Everyone looked entirely puzzled. I guess even the most super nerds here had no idea about the topics Mr. Young wanted to teach. Of course, nobody dared to ask. They're all still kids. Should I maybe... Don't attract attention. Great, since there are no more questions, let's start with a short review of special and general activity. We have 1 hour tonight. That should be enough for such basics. Theory of relativity, theory of relativity, basics? That did not even come up in my advanced physics course at high school. Mr. Young started right away. Let's begin with something very simple. We'll build a clock as a thought experiment. It consists of 2 mirrors at a distance of d0, between which a light beam passes back and forth. What? What the heck? The clock simply measures how many times the beam has been reflected back and forth. Since the speed of light, c, is constant, as we know from Einstein, we can thus calculate how much time t0 has passed. What if we now put the clock into a fast spaceship? Let's say the clock now flies with speed v. As seen from Earth, the light beam must now travel further from mirror to mirror, and such the speed of light is constant. It needs longer for this, tv. But we measure the time in the spaceship with this clock. So all of a sudden, time passes slower there. I had to think of what Aski had said about time travel, that time could run slower, so that was actually true. But when we are sitting in the spaceship, we don't notice anything at first. Only when we come back from our journey, measure what time has passed on Earth in the meantime. You have surely heard about the twin paradox. One twin goes on a journey, the other one stays on Earth. And when one comes back after a few months, the other one is already an old man. The whole thing can be measured experimentally. With accurate atomic clocks, you can already do it today, even if the velocities are much smaller than c. And one can also calculate the effects of Exactly. For this one needs just a little geometry. Have a look. I whispered to Patty. Do you know all this already? Roughly, but it's good he's summarizing it again briefly. And the others here? Patty looked briefly at the others again, as if she was quickly assessing the level of knowledge of our classmates in her head. For most of them was probably completely new, but sorry, I have to concentrate now. I tried my best to follow Mr. Young, and I have to admit he was actually pretty good at explaining. Better than my old physics teacher, anyway. But when it got to general relativity, with space-time tenses and so on, I gave up. Phew, that was too much for me. I looked around. Patty was still listening spellbound and diligently taking notes. Mr. Young seemed to be looking at her constantly. The others seemed to be giving up as well, one by one. So that's it for today with the review. Now we have to divide the groups for the projects. Didn't really care since I didn't know anyone anyway, except Patty, and I absolutely didn't want to be in a group with her. She was definitely too good for me. Mr. Young asked abruptly, Patty, whom do you want to work with? I don't know. Okay, who would you like to work with, Patty? Maybe you, Suzanne? The one he pointed to squirmed a bit and said something like, maybe not this time. Patty was obviously super embarrassed. Sorry about last time. I know it was my fault, but it was just a tiny little electric shock. Oh, then maybe someone else? Robert? But Robert said something about an explosion and that he wasn't tired of living. A few classmates whispered audibly. And the next person Mr. Young asked also knew about an experiment gone up in flames and declined with thanks. Someone murmured something about Peril Patty and some classmates laughed. Yes, alright, I get it, then I'll just do the project alone. Somehow I felt sorry for her. My helper syndrome told me to work with her, but my survival instinct told me helper syndrome to shut up. What was I supposed to do? Then I will do it. Wonderful, that's great. And don't worry, I'm sure nothing bad will happen. An amused murmur went through the room. It seemed our classmates didn't really believe it. Thank you very much, that's sweet, and I'll be more careful this time too, I promise. And so, I had another quest to complete. Survive the experiments with Peril Patty. Oh god. Well, that is it for today. We'll look around tomorrow. That moment, screams sounded from outside. Fire! Fire! Already? She hasn't even moved. It wasn't me this time, I promise. Sure, but either way, I guess we'll have to evacuate the room. So, please don't run, but calmly leave the room. There's a fire already. As soon as Mr. Young said that, he ran as fast as he could. Oh, are you kidding me? Why are these kids smiling so We came out of the classroom outside us. Outside, there was a reddish smoke everywhere, and two boys ran past us laughing. Wow. Max and Maury, it's those two again. Whenever the Chaos Twins are in class, there's always trouble. Then the chemistry teacher came running. He stopped, completely out of breath. If I catch you... Oh, it's no use. The times when you were allowed to slap children like that are gone. Unfortunately. Well, at least the smokers aren't dangerous. And the two of them are really a nuisance. They're top in chemistry. And with their pranks, they make sure that nothing ever really goes wrong. Mr. Meitner seemed to cast a quick sideways glance at Patty. Well, I mean, so do I. Only sometimes. Anyway, we should open the windows, and I think the classes are finished for today, right? Okay, we're just done anyway, and our teacher ran off, so I'd say let's call it a day. Right, have a nice evening then. We all met in front of the building. Well, what are we going to do this evening? Play werewolf? Oh dear, playing with nerds, that sounded exhausting. And what was werewolf anyway? It's a game, but it only works with a lot of players. I'm sure we'll find them here, though. What's it about? At the beginning, we draw cards. Some players are werewolves, one is a seer, and the others are normal villagers. But only the seer knows who is who, the werewolves know who is a werewolf, the villagers don't know anything at the beginning. Like in real life, where everything has their secrets. Everyone has their secrets. But night and day alternate. At night, the werewolves decide whom to kill. During the day, everyone discusses things and tries to find out who the werewolves are, and a vote is taken and someone is executed. After that, everyone finds out if they just killed a werewolf, seer, or villager, and it continues. Till one said Wednesday, that sounds familiar. What a bizarre game. This was clearly just for nerds, right? Innocently I asked. Is this game actually available for purchase? No, why that? Only if you cast draw a lot. Just as I thought, since nobody would buy such a game except a few nerds here, but I chose to keep that to myself. And Ender was so wrong. A few years ago, the whole thing was published as a card game with expanded rules, and it's been a big hit ever since, and not just among nerds. Huh, interesting. So, you in? No way, I was too grown up for that, but I was also grown up enough to say so politely. No thanks, I'm tired, it was a long journey today. 10 years, to be exact. Oh, too bad. Leonine tries to play fancy eye with us tomorrow, okay? The question was obviously not directed at me, but was answered by eager nods from Marie and Azuki. I surrendered to my fate. Whatever fancy eye was going to be, it couldn't be any nerdier than this. Alright. Great. Already prepared an adventure too, are you in for a surprise? An adventure? Don't know what you mean by that. I said goodbye quickly and went to my room. Phew, what a day. Went to the bathroom. Junior toothpaste. 6 to 12 years old. Well, almost right. Brushed my teeth. It is sweet. Did I like things like that as a child? Anyway, lost in thought, I looked out the window into the starry summer night. And I saw Sylvia down in the park. She was sitting on a bench next to a fountain alone. I wonder if I should go down to her. Of course, going to bed would be the bad thing to do. Was that a good idea? But at least taking the stairs was healthy. Hello, Sylvia. What are you doing all alone so late? I'm not alone. I am with myself. I smiled away her joke. Anyway, I'm busy right now. Can I ignore you some other time? What are you doing? Making sketches. The only advantage of this unspeakable vacation is that I'm in a castle. There's decent motives here. Can I see your sketch? Half-finished sketches when hell freezes over. That'll take a while. It's summer right now. I've read intelligent people are more patient. They explained a lot right now. I had to admit, talking to Sylvia was starting to amuse me. She was quite a bitch, but refreshingly quick-witted. What? Why am I so mean? But you shouldn't have mercy on poor impatient subhumans like me. Oh, a round of pity for Ender, okay, is that enough for today? I want to rule that out. I don't want to deprive admirers of my art. You want to come to my studio tomorrow after lunch? Well, something like that. Anyway, I have room where I can paint. It was a condition for my father, otherwise I would have run away than spend my vacation here. So in the annex where the teachers live, I'll wait for you there. But I have a class after lunch. Well, your choice. Class with the wannabe Einsteins or art. I'll think it over. I'm curious about your choice. But now, let me continue working on my sketch. You are dismissed. So we made it clear I was no longer wanted, and I shrugged and left her alone and went back to my room. After all the excitement today, it didn't take long for me to fall asleep. Sunday, 26th July, 1992. When I woke up, the sun was shining brightly in my room. My room? For a moment I didn't know where I was. It came back to me. Silversea Castle, in 1992. No, there must have been a dream, right? I thought of all the events of the previous day. But it was a mistake. I'd really gone back 10 years in the past. Looked like it. Didn't know why or how. Only that it was supposedly an accident. Still completely lost in thought, I looked at the alarm clock that was on my bedside table. Phew, I had to hurry if I still wanted to get some breakfast. I quickly got ready and rushed downstairs. On the way to breakfast, I thought a little. If anyone here could be behind this whole time travel thing and the mysterious suitcase, then it would be that strange Mr. Young. Maybe I should get some information about him. Just at that moment, the camp director approached me. My chance, should I talk to him? Excuse me, Baron Tinsberg. Yes, Ender. Just want to talk to him for a moment about Mr. Young. Oh, what? Is there some kind of problem? Oh, no, don't worry, I'm just curious. You know, he looks a little... how should I put it? Interesting. Yeah, he's a little peculiar in style, a little out of time and space. Future? Well, I don't know. His clothes look rather Asian to me, but that's his private affair, of course. The main thing is that he'll teach well, and time will tell. Like Sherbet's stubborn away, so we should get going. I thought for a moment, should I put my suspicions about Mr. Young to rest? Baron Tinsberg seemed to think he was more or less normal. I know, like Mr. Young, they sometimes are a bit crazy, aren't they? Or should I check again? I hadn't eaten anything yet, so I sneaked to the buffet and grabbed a croissant, which I stuffed into my mouth on the way to the classroom. Hi, there you are. Oh, what was that? I was still struggling with the croissant. Something to drink would have been great by now. You're such a mouthful. Probably just scooped up something from the buffet at the last minute. I know that. I do that a lot too. We need to get inside. Oh yeah, see you later then. When we arrived, Mr. Young was already at the blackboard. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday, we repeated the theory of relativity. Although Memo went through the rows, it sounded like it had not really been a repetition. This morning, I'll briefly summarize the most important aspects of quantum theory. We won't do quantum field theory until tomorrow, though, because we'll start on the projects this afternoon. Let's go. I'm sure you know of wave-particle duality. No? Well, then I'll explain it again briefly. If we shine a very small amount of light on a screen, then we only see individual points of a light flicker, which are randomly distributed. So dust of light consists of particles. Normally, we only don't notice this because there are so many of them. A river also consists of atoms, but there are so many that we don't notice it. On the other hand, if we put a very small optical A in front of the light source L, then directly behind A and B is not dark, but bright. The light somehow gets to B if the light consisted of particles which simply fly straight ahead. This would be impossible. But if it consists of waves, then something makes sense. The wave that goes around A at the top to B, and the one that goes around to the bottom reinforce each other in B. Therefore, it is bright there. A bit below, at C, on the other hand, the waves cancel each other out. The wave at the top takes a little longer. If a wave crest has arrived from the bottom, a wave a wave trough has just arrived from the top, and vice versa. Both cancel each other out. At C, it is dark. Yes, but what now? Light is meant to consist of particles, but also of waves. That is not possible. To understand the solution, you must open your mind. What did Mr. Young mean with that all of a sudden? That sounded more like a guru or esoteric. What I mean is, why do we actually believe that light is something that we can describe by everyday things like waves and particles? Light could be something much more complicated than that. If we accept this idea, then it becomes pretty easy to resolve the contradiction. Light is something super complicated, which is sometimes a bit like a wave and sometimes a bit like a particle. In reality, however, it is something completely different. A wave function, we usually abbreviate it with the Greek letter psi. A wave function is a function that depends on time and place and takes complex numbers as its value. If you do not know what the complex numbers are yet, then look it up somewhere. It is not important right now. You can also play our game, The Last Secret. Karina will explain it to you if you're nice to her. I won't be jealous either, I promise. Is The Last Secret like a Steam game, or is it or is it a game that's going to be played in this? So wait, what was it again? The Last. I'm gonna pause that. Oh no, it is a game on Steam. What is it? It's a adventure visual novel interactive fiction. Point and click, puzzle, anime, funny, colourful, sci-fi, science, romance, cute, story-rich, comedy, conspiracy, relaxing, well-written, family-friendly dating sim space. Okay, so it's an award-winning visual novel adventure. And it's got very positive reviews. Looks interesting. Maybe I will download that. Or like add to library. I added it to my library. Alright, anyway, back to the thing. The important thing about the wave function is it is defined everywhere, so light is always everywhere at the same time. And matter works the same way. One also has wave functions, for example, for electrons or atoms. I tried to get in physics in my high school, but I failed. So this is interesting. If you square the absolute value of psi, x, you get the probability density. This tells us how likely it is to find the light or electron at time t at location x. How psi changes over time can be computed by the Schrödinger equation. That's Schrödinger with the cat? Yes, exactly. We will come to the cat in a moment. If we now measure where the light or the electron really is, then we change the wave function. It collapses and is then concentrated only in one point, in which one we cannot predict. We can only calculate the probability by squaring the absolute value of psi. Do we simply not yet know enough about physics to calculate where, for example, the electron will be when we measure? No, Patty, and that's really the point. You might think that now we have to do more research to find some physical parameters that determine where the electron will really be, but if there were any hidden parameters is that we just don't know yet, then the so-called Bell inequality has to be satisfied. But experiments have been done that clearly show that the Bell inequality does not hold. Therefore, such parameters cannot exist. The world really works randomly. There's also the many worlds interpretation, which says that with every such measurement, all possible results happen at the same time, only each of them in its own world. We live after this event only in one of those worlds, but copies of us in the others. This is a highly interesting theory, and actually you should all firmly believe in it, but I must say here, for a quite certain reason, that it is wrong. Unfortunately, I cannot tell you why. Huh? What was that supposed to mean? But no, it's the cat. Schrodinger's cat. You lock a cat in a box and attach a device that kills the cat when a certain quantum event occurs, e.g. an electron flies somewhere or something. Now the point is, as long as you don't open the box, the cat is neither alive nor dead, so to speak. Only in the moment in which you look, the wave function collapses, and that changes its status from neither nor to either dead or alive. But this is only a thought experiment. Don't be afraid, Schrodinger didn't kill any cats. I was not sure whether I should find the whole thing scary, weird, or exciting. Nevertheless, I continued to listen spellbound, only next Mr. Young started to go deep into the mathematics of complex numbers and partial differential equations. And I got lost very, very fast. As did everyone else apparently, maybe except for Patty, who was eagerly making notes again. Meanwhile, I drew cat pictures on my paper. At some point it was time for lunch. We'd really earned it. Did you understand that? I don't know. Not everything, I think. I'll have to work through it again. I couldn't help but admire Patty. Her brain seemed to be working at a different level than mine. Patty looked intensely into her notes. You know how the shade of her hair changed there between the two models? Patty looked intensely into her notes. She frowned, and I noticed that she had a really cute snub nose when she did that. Oh my word, bro. Oh no, I wrote so fast that now I can't decipher some of it. Can you? She pointed to a cryptic scrawl. This passage I don't get at all. When a body bends source, then light doesn't hollow a straight line. Thus, stars seem to change their position during an ellipse. The fun band spade deflecting the night of the stairs. Oh my, Patty had a really difficult handwriting. I was not sure whether I would be able to decipher that. Okay, let's see whether I can get this deciphered. Patty gave me a note and I tried desperately to make sense of them. Do you like to simply follow the story and skip the task? When a body bends source, then light doesn't hollow a straight line. Thus then, when a body... Okay, this is funny. Hold on. I'm guessing that's bends. When a body bends space... Oh yeah, well, that does look kind of like a P, but her handwriting is so bad. Oh yeah, that is definitely, and I can see the little thing that's an E and that's D. Then light doesn't follow a straight line, right? We follow a straight line. Yeah, I thought that said straight before. Thus stars. Is it stars? Thus stars. Storms seem to change the position during. Yeah, it's stars. And the position during. It's darling. Oh. During an eclipse. The sun bends space, deflecting the night of the stairs, finding the height. That's light, that's not height. Deflecting the light of the stars. Fantastic, you're right, I'm such a dunce. This means that large masses bend space-time, and then light no longer follows a straight line. After all, light always chooses the shortest path, and in a curved space it can be shorter to follow a curve. I'm surprised I actually managed to get all that correct. The sun, with its large mass, naturally distorts space-time, and so nearby stars look a bit shifted. Obviously, we can only measure that during a total solar eclipse, because otherwise the sun outshines all the stars in its vicinity. I nodded. That made sense, even if it was crazy, of course, but relativity theory was crazy, and still real. Thanks so much for your decoding help. Oh, successful entropy reduction. I'm here to increase entropy. Okay, hold on a minute. Entropy definition. What is it? Oh. Entropy definition. The Entropy. A thermodynamic quantity representing the unavailability of a system's thermal energy for conversion into mechanical work, often interpreted as the degree of disorder or randomness in the system. Lack of order of predictability. Okay, this can literally mean anything for her. Alright, and regarding my notes from today, there's this thing about quantum localization. Patty, I'm sorry to break the news to you, but I didn't understand anything about that. I'm afraid I really can't help you with that. Oh. In any case, thank you 1,000 times. Okay, I understand this so much at least. We're everywhere at the same time. And I would suggest that the next time we measure our position, we have a high probability density in the cafeteria. Because I'm hungry. Agreed. At the cafeteria, we sat down with the others again. And how was your morning? Fantastic. We made our first astronomical observation. How can that be? It's broad daylight. We observed the sun with a special filter on the telescope. Special filter? Yes, otherwise the light focus on the telescope would simply burn holes in our eyes. That made sense. Magnifying glass was enough to make paper burn, and the telescopes are much bigger. And even has a prominence telescope with them. What is that? It's a special device that covers the sun and lets you see the prominences. As in, the gas fountains that shoot away from the sun, usually a lot bigger than the whole Earth. And we took pictures. And what did you do? We had quantum physics. Patty reported enthusiastically about the lecture. Unlike me, Azuki and Marie even seemed to be able to follow. When Patty didn't want to stop, the visibly annoyed Sylvia spoke to me. So, do you understand what the super nerds are saying here? Not much. You'll come to my studio after lunch. Great. Oh, sorry, I talked too much. Marie, Sylvia, what did you do today? Painting. Patty was obviously waiting for more, but Sylvia didn't deign to say more. And what? Paintings. Sorry if I'm kind of annoying you with my friendliness. Apology accepted. Given the lightening that seemed to be flashing in Patty and Sylvia's eyes, lightning. Spelled wrong, but whatever. Seemed to flash in Sylvia's eyes. I tried to quickly deflect the conversation. Mary, what did you think about this morning's class? Mary looked nervously at Sylvia. She seemed a little afraid of her. Well, baby, you don't have to be afraid of Aunt Sylvia. What the heck is this? You leave Marie alone. Patty's face immediately filled with anger. What's the matter? Did I activate your maternal instinct to calm the baby talk for itself? Itself? Marie, at least say mommy to Patty, mommy. Mommy. Oh, it's spelled the right way too. Stop it right now or I'll... Stop what? I didn't know you could explode yourself. I thought only experiments did that. Oh! I'm going to... Patty was about to throw her glass of fruit juice at Sylvia. I just managed to stop her. Get out the childish remarks. We are adults. Well, I am. They obviously still aren't, I thought to myself. And Patty, the juice is too delicious to spill. I smiled kindly at both of them. Wow, what a good conflict manager I am. I asked Marie kindly. So, how was your class today, Marie? Nice. Just at that moment we were interrupted by a boy who stood up, tapping his glass until everyone was quiet. Hi, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. We're going to make a t-shirt for the camp. If anyone wants to participate or has a design, please feel free to come to me. Wow, that's cool. We definitely need to come up with something. We don't want it to be as boring as last year's and just have science camp written on it. Do you have any ideas? We need stars. Sure, and now Marie would immediately say that we need something mathematical, if she did. Maybe... Yes, Marie? A fractal? Bingo! I knew it. Linda, do you have an idea? The others discussed it a bit, but then Marie suggested maybe using a picture of Silversea Castle as a motive. Patty and Azuki also liked the idea. Patty even tried to draw a sketch of the castle on a paper napkin. Marie, however, found the picture more reminiscent of a dying whale, and Azuki started saying something about space whales. Sylvia just took a quick glance at the sketch. Last place in the kindergarten drawing contest, but you'll surely get a lot of sympathy for it. Hey, I just can't draw that well, but a bad picture is still better than none. Trust me, as an expert, the world would be better without plague, cholera, and that picture. Then you paint it if you could do better. Paint a picture for you, Art Philistines? Certainly not. Oh, please, Sylvia, think about it. We can talk about it later. You insist, but it won't be easy to convince me. We did not succeed in getting Sylvia to agree. Of course, we could just have a computer paint the picture. What do you mean? Well, if we had a computer that was a little bit intelligent, we could just tell it to paint a castle, and they would do it. That sounds a lot like science fiction. We may never have such creative computers. Or maybe it isn't science fiction. In fact, Silversea Castle was painted by a computer AI. And me too. Oh, I don't know. I don't think it'll be long now. My mother once showed me how to do it, but we don't have the computer power here on Earth yet. Oh, it's still there. Is she implying that she's not from Earth? I mean, it would explain the ears. If we were on the moon... But we are not, Azuki. You better come back down to Earth. Especially because it was almost time for the afternoon classes. On the way, Patty stopped me for a moment. And I have something to explain to you. What is it? You know Marie is very quiet. Yes, I do. There's a reason for that. And that is, well, I don't know if Marie wants me to tell you everything, but it has something to do with me protecting her a little. Even when that Sylvia girl is teasing her and all. I understand. I didn't understand anything, but I had the impression that it wasn't appropriate to ask now, though Patty was stammering around. That's good. Anyway, we have to go to class now. Yes, thank you, but I have to do something. I promised Sylvia to meet her in the studio. On the way, I thought about what Patty had just told me, but I couldn't make any sense of it. I resolved to be gentle with Marie. I felt a little guilty about skipping class to go to Sylvia's, but I had promised. After a bit of searching, I found her studio in the teacher's building. She was already working. Wow, it looked really professional. Damn, professionality. That's when Sylvia noticed I had arrived. There you are. Your paintings look amazing. Well, I would say I outdid myself, but I am always so good. Let's just say I did let's say I just did myself. Hey, yo, what the one might misunderstand that. Yeah, one might. Just maybe a little bit, eh? Just like I did. Oh, anyway, so you're here to admire my art. It's an honor for you. Okay. I only brought a few of my paintings, of course, but I didn't want to do without them completely. Just take a look at them and tell me what you think. I looked at the pictures one by one. Like a prison simulating cues. Only if you're waiting for someone. Why would she? Although, I never thought of it that way. Maybe you're right. Maybe she's just a memory and not really here. Maybe. Drawing a pinch drawing? A sparrow? Pinch drawing? Yes, of course. If it says something about the motive, then think of something witty, otherwise keep it to yourself. Do you feel like the bird? It's not like I can only paint myself all the time, although in this case maybe a little bit. Not time at the stupid science camp. Not so bad here. You even have your own studio to paint in and lots of beautiful motifs. Look on the bright side. Don't make me an optimist. You're ruining my life. Or have you ever seen an optimistic artist? Now that's really impressive. How long did it take you to paint that? It did, in fact, take a while. As an artist, you need perseverance. You have quite a bit of it, don't you? Yes, you may. But I won't answer. Wow. It's self-portrait now, isn't it? If you interpret it that way. Should I do the flirtatious one that clearly won't give me any bad things, or should I do this one that might make more sense? I'm pretty sure I can click that to go back, so let's do this one. If I told you this before, keep me out of your fantasies. No, I'll keep it like that, that's funny. I really hadn't expected such a picture as a painting of Sylvia. I'd already seen a few depressing pictures of artists in museums. Mostly the biography of such artists was not very long and quite sad. I was almost a little worried about Sylvia when I saw that. And don't you have anything to say? Why do you say that? Well, the painting doesn't exactly radiate happiness. That's true, but it's also just a painting. It's not like I put my soul on the canvas. Still, don't you always paint a bit of your feelings? Maybe I do. Maybe you are a little bit right. I'm sometimes really quite sad. But that's none of your business, of course. Alright. Still, it's nice that you're worried. But in case, that's the end of the exhibition. Thank you very much, that was very impressive. Talk your way through Sylvia's exhibition, art critics. Of course it was. Before I go, do us a favour and paint the motif for the t-shirt for us, will you? Alright, I'll think about it. I still have time this afternoon and do only a simple sketch anyway. Oh, thanks a lot, that's super nice of you. I haven't promised anything yet. Okay, I'll see you later. I said goodbye and quickly went to my class. I'd already skipped enough of it. I arrived too late, of course. With some apologies and after a few admissions, I sat down in my usual place. I've prepared a list of projects and we're going to go to the physics lab together, where you can work on them. As the young led us to a spacious room. Wow, it really looked much better than in our school back in the day. So, let's get started. Suzanne and Birgit, I have prepared the Millikan experiment for you, with that you can measure the charge of single electrons. Here in the information you will find everything you need. Try to learn it by yourself. If you get stuck, ask me. Two girls looked a little perplexed, but finally sat down at the table and began to read. Stefan and Thomas, you can try to make a hologram. You can find all the information and the equipment here. But you have to go into the dark room to take the pictures. You will also have to discuss that with the astronomy class, because they also use the room for their photos. And now Patty and Enter, to be exact. Patty, I have something very special for you. Here are parts for a machine and a manual for it. Task is to find out how the machine works and what it does. It's an unusual task, but believe me, you will not regret it if you do it carefully. Oh, and Ender can help you with that. Well, that was a clear division of roles, and I thought teachers should at least act like they treat everyone the same. Patty seemed a little embarrassed. Anyway, we went over to the table, where there were a bunch of odd components and a booklet of instructions. Miss Young, meanwhile, was assigning more projects. Phew, what is that? That's a strange assignment. She picked up the booklet and blushed. This is in English. I glanced at the booklet. Yes, in English. What's the problem? My English, You don't want me to believe that you, as a super genius, have problems with English, do you? Well, the thing is, if I were better at languages, I could have skipped a grade. That's why I studied English and French so hard. And I think my brain is just like a sieve for vocabulary. Learning formulas, no problem, but vocabulary, I have vocabulary Alzheimer's. Well, I'll just have to read this for you, and then won't I? You would do that? You're a sweetheart. Oh, I just got called a sweetheart. I'm so pleased. Let's. Crap! Now I was blushing. Penny really had me wrapped around her little finger. And so I sat down and started to read the instructions. The English was the least of my problems, but the text was obviously intended for physics aces like Patty and not for normal people like me. I simply did not understand anything. Without further ado, I translated everything as best I could. Oh, that sounds strange. Are you sure you translated it correctly? Actually, I am. Okay, let's just start now and find the individual components. Then I'll take a close look at each one and run some tests on it. You'll help me with that, won't you? Gladly, I heard my voice say. My goodness, when this girl asked me so sweetly, I always said yes before thinking. And so began our work. Patty got power source, cables, an oscilloscope, and all sorts of other equipment. I like these long words, testing my pronunciation and vocabulary. Soon our table seemed to be in chaos, but Patty didn't give the impression of losing track in the confusion. That's funny. Why? The singularity container is made of a very strange material, and if I put electricity on it, look what happens. The container suddenly began to glow brightly, and it seemed to deform strangely. Look closely. Patty pushed a ruler into the container. The ruler seemed to disappear. When she pulled it out again, it was intact. It just disappears in there. Yes, but if you look closely, you'll see that it doesn't disappear. It kind of bends away. Like there's a mirror there or something, but no matter what side you look from, the effect is the same. It's the space itself is being bent away. But that can't be. Maybe it can. Let me try what happens when I give it more juice. Patty turned the power regulator. Oops, I must have overdone it there. What happened? Nothing bad. I must have just melted the meter. Patty pointed to the ammeter, which was smoking quietly. But don't panic, no fire or anything, I'll just go get a new one. I took a deep breath. Okay, this was off to a good start. Patty was just outside back when we suddenly heard alarm calls from outside. Fire! Fire! Well, that can't be because of a little smoke from the power meter. I'm really innocent. Well, maybe someone else screwed up, or another false alarm. Let's go outside anyway, okay? Patty nodded, and the other students in the room also hurried to get outside. We left our classrooms outside. Everything was full of green smoke, and two well-known boys ran past us laughing. And just then, Mr. Meitner came running. If I catch you! Oh, but I already said that yesterday. Today they did the same thing again, but in green. This time I won't let the class do any experiments. I'll do the experiments myself. Then it can't happen again. Anyway, with that our classes were over again. Oh wait, anyway, with that our classes were over again. Oh come on, it was just getting exciting. But anyway, remember we meet in an hour for Fancy Eye. Oh right, I had almost forgotten about that. Okay. I tried to sound excited. Need the hour now to get everything ready. Can I help you? No thanks, not necessary. See you later. I looked out for the others, but Azuki and Mary had already left. 1 hour left until this weird game. What should I do until then? I shouldn't laze around my room or go to Sylvia's studio. I shouldn't just show up there unannounced. I'll go look for Azuki, I guess. I ventured into the girls' wing of the castle. I did? Perfect! Well, we weren't so prudish that it would have been forbidden, but I still felt a bit out of place there. Quickly found Azuki's room and knocked. Come in. Hello. Hello, so this is your room. Yes, do you like it? She's not confused that I just walked into her room. I think I'm really lucky. Yes, very nice. The poster is yours, isn't it? Yeah, sure, that's a starry sky on a planet very close to the center of the Milky Way. I see. It would be great to see a starry sky like that. On the other hand, we are lucky we can live on Cricket. The poor people there are in the middle of a dust region. They can't see a single star at night. Once again, I didn't understand a word, but wait a minute, have I heard that before? A Hitchhiker's Guide to the... Finally, a source of her weird science fiction stories that I knew. That of Douglas Adams, is it right? Yeah, that's right. You know about that book? No, the Sci-Fi Order 42 a word. Yeah, sure. I winked at her. And I thought you were serious at first, but you only say things from science fiction stories, right? Maybe, maybe not. What do you mean? Maybe Douglas Adams didn't just make things up. Maybe he also knew some things. Well, his bizarre stories don't sound like reality to me. Well, they certainly aren't. For example, time travel is not possible. And the Earth wasn't destroyed by Vogons who wanted to build a new galactic highway. As we can see, the Earth still exists. But he may have included some things he knew from elsewhere, not revealing that to anyone. And he certainly has fun with it. What do you mean? How should he know that there is a planet Cricket and something like that? Well, maybe he had his sources. Some people have come a long way. A very long way. I was completely confused again. What was Azuki getting at? Are you trying to confuse me, or why do you always have to say such mysterious things? Tell me, I always tell the truth. If that confuses you, then that's funny too. But I think we need to get to Patty and the others. I looked at my watch. How quickly the time had passed. And Azuki said that sometimes time could pass faster. We had arranged to meet in one of the classrooms. So here we are. So, Mary, you've played many times already and you've brought your mage here. Brought a mage? What was that supposed to mean? We're prepared heroes for the others, so we can start right away. What do you mean? I don't understand anything right now. I saw that Sylvia felt the same way, and Azuki, well, she was thinking about something else anyway, as usual. So, Fancy Eye is a fancy role-playing game, which means that each of you guys play a hero. For example, Marie plays Magnolia, a mage from the Salamander Mountains. Each hero has characteristics. For example, Magnolia is very intelligent and has mastered various spells, but is not particularly dexterous and agile. If a player wants to do something difficult with this hero, he must roll this die. This is an icosahedron, a 20-sided die. And if he rolls too low, then if he doesn't succeed in the action. It dawned on me that what this was. I had heard about it. This is one of those weird games that nerds could spend whole nights playing. Ugly fat guys who only talked about swords and spells and never found a girlfriend in real life. Hey, why am I so mean? Like, calm down. In other words, this was something for absolute losers. Hey, why am I the meanest of people, bro? Why am I the scum of this earth? I would want to play this. And I was there. Well, great. On the other hand, where were the ugly fat boys here? Somehow it didn't really fit. Endo, you play as a knight. That's quite easy for the beginning. You can't do magic. Also get a nice big sword. Petty gave me a piece of paper with a series of numbers on it. Intelligence 8, Courage 13, Strength 14, and some more. I'd get prepared an elf for you. That somehow suits you. Elves don't speak much, and if they do, it's always a bit mysterious and incomprehensible. For us elves, the language of humans is like a crow call that penetrates through the fog. This was an ideal casting. Just know some spells. I've written all of the information about them here. Just read it through. I'm playing a princess. I'm sorry you can't. Why? Because princesses don't go on adventures. But I've prepared a wonderful character for you. What character? A witch? Oh my god! A what? Oh, not what you think. A very pretty young witch. Like Kiki? Kiki? You mean the anime? Yes, exactly. Probably, but I don't know it. Fine, whatever, then I'll be a pretty seductive witch. Yes, you are, Sylvia. Oh boy. Now you can choose names for your heroes. I name my hero Leon Lionheart. Sure. Then your name is Leon Lionheart. What name did you choose, Sylvia? Sylvia von Tensberg, I stand by my name. Sylvia, this is a game. You need an imaginary name. Then it's Princess of the Old Lands. Why not dim sense with the cold hands? Oh! Hey, you can play a weird game by yourself. Come on, be a little constructive and find yourself a sensible name. Want something constructive, then go buy a Lego set and play with it. What is some for your middle age? I'll be nice and just ignore what you said. Excuse me, I wasn't listening just now. So when you act like this, no one likes you. It's okay not to like me, not everyone has good taste. I took heart and interrupted them both. Hey, peacefully please. Sylvia, just pick another name and that's it. How about, for example, I was desperately looking for a suitable name for a witch. Sabrina. Whatever, but then at least Sabrina da Vinci. Patty was about to protest again, but I just stopped her. Alright, I think we can live with that, can't we, Patty? Was it Patty very insistently? Yes, whatever. And now for Azaku. How about you, a name for an elf? Elf name? Oh, elves, those little things that make Christmas presents at the North Pole. How about Hoppity or Snowy or Frosty or Cookie? Sylvia, I think those are different elves, more like the ones from Lord of the Rings than the ones from the Christmas bakery. Oh, what a pity. Azakia's minty or candy would have been so much fun. Do you think she looks like a mint candy, Ender? I tried to ignore the comment as best as I could. Azuki, what do you think about that? Oh, sorry, I wasn't listening just now. What were you talking about, candy? Apparently, Sylvia's teasing had not reached Azuki at all. Sylvia seemed a little miffed about it. I wanted to know what name you wanted to give your elf. Elves? Those are the ones with the pointy ears, right? Patty nodded. Oh, that reminds me of the inhabitants of the planet Corona Borealis 3178. So maybe Ixcrox would be a suitable name. Patty and I looked at each other briefly, then we said in one voice, No! Oh, isn't that a good name? Then you just suggest one. May I? Patty and I looked at each other for a moment, then we said again in one voice, No! Arwen is a pretty elf name, how about it? Okay. Patty took a deep breath. Phew, that settles that. Then let's finally get started on the story. We're in the kingdom of Montania when you learn that the king has summoned all the heroes of the land to come to his aid. His daughter, the lovely Dawn, has been kidnapped by the evil mage Nightshade. Dawn? Nightshade? I think it's what my son said here. Shh! Said Patty, Marie, and I in one voice. Azuki followed a few seconds of delay. Shh! Patty cleared her throat. Of course you immediately agreed to save the princess. Do we? Yes, of course. Alright. So, Magnolia exclaims, We must, of course, prepare thoroughly for this undertaking. I have here a list of things we need. First, a good map to find the way to the mage. Then rations, weapons, tools, and above all, potions, and... Mary's list seemed never-ending. She wanted to think of everything, but Patty was growing visibly impatient. Finally, she interrupted. Yes, I understand. You just take everything you can use, and then we'll finally get going. Through the forest of eternal autumn to the castle of terror. How are we going to get there? Because I'm not going on foot, of course, but only on horseback. I'm afraid you can't ride. What? Patty pointed to an entry on Sylvia's note, riding 0. Don't worry, Sylvia, I can't ride either. Sylvia gave a resigned sigh. Alright, then Sabrina da Vinci will go on foot too. And so, you set out on an arduous journey through the forest of eternal autumn to the castle of terror where Nightshade lives. You mean it's always autumn there? Yes, just that it's always morning with the princess and always night with the mage. Patty gave Sylvia a laser-sharp look. That must be beautiful with the yellow and red leaves and the trees. Yes, the forest is indeed beautiful, but you have heard evil stories of travellers disappearing forever in its fog. Is it foggy already? Yes, the first wisps of fog are slowly moving in. Make a weather spell like that. Weather want, weather follow my command. Okay, oh shit. Okay, but you have to roll the die. Yeah, fine. Okay, but you have to roll the die. Oh no, it doesn't work. Anyway, it was worth a try. The fog is slowly gathering around you, so you don't even know which way the path is going. I have the sense of direction of an elf. Can I see which way is the right one? Patty had Azuki roll the die. Unfortunately, unsuccessfully. Go on, but after a while you realize that the path seems awfully familiar. Great, you let's run in circles, typical you. Can't I do something useful? Well, not really. Your sword isn't helping you right now. Well, then I'll turn into a bird and fly over the fog to see where we have to go. Metamorphosis Animalis Savis. Great, it worked. With this, Magnolia is transforming into an owl. Hoo hoo. I'll fly on top of the fog and show you the way. Thanks to Magnolia's pilotage, we finally made it out of the enchanted forest. Now you can see it. The Mage Nightshade's castle of terror. Lightning flashes above it and then shadow comes flying towards you. A huge dragon stands in your way, breathing fire. Aye! Actually, he looks a bit strange. Anyway, it's up to the night now, isn't it? Alright, Leon Lionheart, what are you going to do? It was hid. Paddy rolled. Great, you managed to jump onto the dragon. I've got you now, beast! Before you can strike with your sword, the battle of the others rages on. Wow, I was going to decide the fight. Now nothing could go wrong, and I'll be the hero of the day. Dragon now turns to Arwen for the time being. Can you dodge his attack? Isaac rolled a die, and she was able to dodge. Take that, beast! The arrow bounces off its carapace. Grandiosa Goldeness! Huh, you want to try that spell? It's difficult and takes a lot of magic. Yes, but I brought the potions to replenish my energy. Besides, I have 3 tries, so I have 29.2% chance of success. You calculated that? Yeah, sure, don't you do that? Mary doesn't seem to have quite grasped that ordinary mortals don't usually do complicated probability calculations in their heads. She really was a phenomenon. So you really want to try Grandiosa Goldeness? You bet I do. And it worked! Right on the first try! Yay! The dragon is hit by Magnolia's spell and begins to twitch. With one last fountain of fire, he scorches your luggage, Magnolia. I'm sorry, but the potions are ruined. Oh, come on, Paddy, you're doing that on purpose. Then the dragon suddenly starts to shrink. Leon Lionheart falls to the ground. Crap, so instead of being the hero of the day, I just became a clown. Phew. And finally, there's a hamster-sized dragon standing in front of you in the grass, looking at you with its big round eyes. How sweet you are now, my pet. Marie, you can't have a dragon as a pet. Why not? I have animal knowledge 10. I can handle a mini dragon. I'll be taking care of him too. They sighed. Obviously, that wasn't planned. Well, we'll keep it then. Shall I call you Sylvie, my little dragon? Don't you dare. Then let me call you Grisou. And what do we do now? Let's eat something first. I'm really hungry. I managed to get some sandwiches in the cafeteria, because we're not having any dinner there tonight. Mary gave everyone a sandwich wrapped in paper. We gladly helped ourselves, because without realizing it, we had all gotten as hungry as a bear, or maybe even a dragon. While we were eating, we discussed the fight with the dragon again. We played on as fast as we could. Okay, this is where I'm going to conclude this episode of Sweet Science. Now, yes, this will continue probably tomorrow. Probably tomorrow that I will continue the series. Now, the next episode will probably be longer than this one, but aside from that, yes, I hope you enjoyed this strange video, but I've got more visual novels lined up as well for future, like, including a psychological horror one, so yes. Yes, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.